Okay, hello guys. Let's give it a minute before we start this webinar. Let's give it a minute. Let's give it a minute before others. Okay. Hey guys. Thank you very much for joining me today for another Vantage live trading session. Okay, testing. Can you guys see my screen? Do let me know if you guys can see my screen. Let me know if you guys can see my screen before we continue. Okay. Thank you very much for waiting. I do apologize for that. Okay, let us begin. Welcome to another. Hi everyone. Welcome to our Monday weekly forecast as we talk about key fundamental news events to expect for the week ahead, along with their technical setups. We'll be highlighting give me a moment. We'll be highlighting key news events, central bank notes, and key support and resistance levels to watch out for. This webinar is brought to you by Everest Fortune Group in collaboration with Vantage Markets. We are an award-winning research firm and finalists in 2019, 2020, and 2021 for Best Forex and Equity Research. We work with the major financial institutions to help them forecast where the markets are heading. And now we have a special partnership with Vantage Markets where we are bringing you guys the good stuff every day. Okay, disclaimer as usual, guys. This webinar is purely educational and nothing in this webinar should be construed as investment or trading advice. So please do your own due diligence before you are trading. Okay, before we begin, let us introduce our analysts. First, we have Desmond Leong, and he is our chief trader for the company. Next, we have Tianing, she's our investment analyst. And we have Jin Dao Tai, who is our prop trader and fundamental analyst. Next, it's me. My name is Chen Yongjin, and I am the investment analyst for the company. Hey, welcome, Oleg Bota. Thank you for joining me today. Okay, let us continue. Okay, first, before we begin, we on vantagemarkets.com on the website, the latest updates for this. Give me a moment, something dropped. Okay. The latest updates for Vantage is we have a leverage of 500 to 1. Our minimum deposit is $50. And you can actually check out our educational tools, which is educational webinars. Okay, educational webinars. And when you scroll down, you can actually see what are the upcoming webinars that we have, like today, 5 p.m. Singapore time, with a live trading session with me. Tomorrow, Tuesday, we have another session on trading the US earning reports with Mr. Desmond Leong. Okay, let us jump right into the charts. Hey, by the way, if you guys got any charts that you would like me to take a look at, do let me know. You can actually send it into chat. Please send your chart into chat. Send it right here by pressing on the camera icon, then you copy link to chart image. So if you copy link to chart image, I can actually take a look. You can send it to chat. We can discuss your trading ideas. There's no right or wrong. Just send it in. At the end of the day, everyone is learning, right? Okay. So let's move on. Let's start by looking. What are the key news events for the day? Okay, there's not much news events that we are looking for, except for the Empire States Manufacturing Index happening on the US dollar, which is at tonight, 8:30 p.m. Also, just to take notes for USD JPY, if you guys are trading it, there might be some sorts of stealth intervention at the 149 or 150 level. Why do I say so? It's because take a look at this at the 149 area. There's a possibility that we might see some sort of intervention. Or at the 150. Just do take a note out of it. I was checking the news and people are actually speculating whether USD JPY, once it touches this area, there might be some kind of intervention or the way down. So please be cautious if you are trading USD JPY. Is there any currencies that you would like me to take a look at? Do let me know. Send it right over into the chat and I can check it out. So today is a Monday, so it's relatively slow. Personally, I try not to touch Mondays unless there's a very high probability setup that I would like to take. So let me take a look at MT4, my currencies. So normally what I like to do is I like to trade USD, Euro USD. So I'm actually devising a new trading method that might be possible. I'm just looking at it. So you take a look at this. So let's say I go to the daily charts on the 12th of October. I just mark. Okay, it's just simple as that. I mark out the daily high, daily low, and then I just jump straight to the 15 minutes. So you see, the moment price broke out once, twice up, I can just set a sell stop at this zigzag with my stop loss here, my sell stop here, and stop loss at the top. So I can actually have a nice trade. But then again, where would I have taken the trade to? Just take it to the 50% area, possibly. It's just a simple way that I'm actually looking at to minimize all the drawings, every single thing. Okay, this is not a good trade. This is, wow, it's 0.18 risk to reward. It's actually very, very bad. So what am I looking out for today? On the daily, on Euro, mark out the daily high and daily low. So I'm actually trying to minimize the time I actually take to mark out the charts. So let's say if you're looking at 8 currencies and I take 10 minutes per currencies, by the hour end, at the end of the hour, I'll still be actually charting the 8 currencies. So that is actually a mistake that I have discovered in my trading. I wouldn't call it a mistake, maybe a flaw. I take too much time planning. So once I mark out the daily high and daily low, I'll just do it fast this time. Luckily, I have the templates. So daily high and daily low. That's all I care now. So, and then I check out, there might be some sort of market imbalance area. So it's right here. What is market imbalance? A quick run through on that is when price has not come to this area, where you can possibly look for price to come up to this area to tap right into that. Okay, looking at the hourly, there's not much movement. Well, there was actually quite a lot of fake outs, what you guys would like to call it, a fake out. So as usual, I mark out the Asian range. It goes from 7 p.m. New York time to 12 a.m. New York time. So if you look, my timing has been set to the New York time. So here it's 7 p.m. 7 p.m. all the way to 12 o'clock, the Asian range. So right now we have an issue with this. Price has, what has it done? It has cleared the Asian high. Mark it up nicely, Asian high. Pop. Okay, Asian high got cleared, and same as the Asian low right here. You notice that these areas, Asian high and Asian low, right, have a lot of reaction. So price touches. Oh my. Okay. So price touches the Asian high, it reflects down, likewise to the Asian low. I haven't renamed it Asian low. So same thing, if you look very carefully, price just tapped in very, very minutely, and it just reflected right off. So these areas are the kind of reversals that I like to look out for. So actually I missed out on this trade, on the Asian high trade. What I could have done, what I could have improved on is maybe when price, I could have set a possible sell stop at this area. Why? Because this is the last area of resistance that caused the break of structure. So I could have set my stop loss, my sell stop here with my stop loss at the top, and it could have been a possible 1-to-4 risk to reward ratio trade. Well, and since today there's a lot of movement up down non-stop. So after clearing the Asian high, clear the Asian low, and then it went back up again. Price reversed all the way up to clear the high again. So I'll call this is nothing nice to trade. It's like a ranging market. So I haven't entered any trade yet. Especially you look at this huge bounce. It's not clean at all. So where am I looking for a buy or a short? Right here. On the hourly charts, we have this point of interest. So I'll set this to green because since it's a buying area. So I'll set this as points of interest. Point of interest, 1 hour. Inside on the right side. And then possibly what we can possibly look out for is for price to come down into this area before we wait for a break of structure, and then we long it up. So what do I mean by the break of structure? It's this. So when price forms a higher high, so we take it on the retracements, down to, and then with the stop loss below, we can just long it up. So right now I'm waiting for price to touch this area on the hourly, or what is this area that I drew out? On the daily market imbalance. So I'll mark it out. Daily market imbalance. So price, this is an area that I'm looking for price to possibly head up to. Inside on the right side. Oh, let me put it closer so you guys don't have to look so far. Okay, so what I like to do is just wait. Let the price do its work. So I'm looking for this area and this area. This area for a short and this area for a long. So it's just a waiting game. You let the market do what it wants. Okay, so moving on to here, what price can possibly do is up, break of structure, retracement. That's when we take this sell down. Same thing, break of structure. It's right here. Let me just say it one more time. What does BMS means? It means break of market structure. There's nothing much I'm drawing on the chart. It's a very simple chart right now. For the shorts with stop loss above and try to aim for at least a 1 to 1.5 trade or minimally 1 to 1 trade for risk to reward. Okay. Hey, if you have any charts, feel free to send it over. Any currency pairs that you want to take a look at, let me know on that too. So, you know, I can give my ideas, my thoughts on your charts. Okay, moving on. Let's look at maybe gold. Let's take a look at gold. What is going on with gold? Same thing, just draw something. I'll just draw the daily high and daily low. I will not mark it out anymore. So this is how I would do it fast. Daily high, daily low, and then I just jump straight into the 15 minutes, maybe 1 hour to take a look at what might be going on. So price seem to be retracing to the 50% area using a Fibonacci. So I draw 50%. Okay, price is exactly resting on the 50% mark. Okay, 50% area. So we can look for some kind of possible reaction to the downside. But as usual, we are in the 50% area. I would not take any trades at all because price can head up or head down. So if I'm taking a short, price goes up, it hits my stop loss. This is a risk that I'm not willing to take. I'm waiting for price to clear the high or clear the low. Okay, moving on. Okay, let me show you guys an example of a back test that I was looking at just now. So I'm always talking about, right now during this session, I'm always talking about trading the breakouts. Trading the breakout as in trade back into the daily candle. So let's take a look at the previous one. This is on the 13th of October, last Thursday. So we take a look on the 15 minutes. What happened? Price broke out of this area. But what happened? Where could we have entered? So let me draw out this structure right here. So you saw this structure? To me, it looks like this. So we have the line of area. It breaks, goes down, goes up, and it continues going up. So where could we have entered? We could have entered here with a buy stop. We could have simply set a buy stop at this line. A buy stop here. And stop loss below. Just using purely a buy stop. So with that being said, why don't we choose take profits? Why don't we use this line from top to bottom? We are not going to do that because previously price has already retraced from the top to the bottom. So price from the top goes down and it has already retraced. So this to me is invalid. So we'll be moving on to this area with our 50% area right here. So if we actually took this trade last Friday at around 6 p.m. Singapore time or 6 a.m. New York time, we could have took profits with a risk to reward of a 1 to 2. 1 to 2. It would have been a pretty nice trade. See, you can see now price is reacting around this area. Always look out for the low-hanging fruits. What do I mean by low-hanging fruits? The previous low or the previous high. So you just basically wait for price to clear the previous low, and then you search for a long. Price breaks the previous high, you search for a short. It's as simple as that. There is just scalping small movements. Okay, moving on, let me clear out this area. On GU, let us take a look at GU. Okay, same thing, go to the daily. Let us take a look at what might be going on GU. Okay, same thing, the daily high and daily low. Where could we have a buy entry? Okay, since we have the daily high and daily low, but take note, we don't want to go up, and up to here, clears, and then we don't want to short. This is not why we want to short, not here, because you look to your left, there is this area and this area right here. So this area acts as a form of liquidity. So I'll set this area as the buy side liquidity. Buy side liquidity, top right. So what I would like preferably is for price to go up, down, go up even higher before it does a retracement down. This would be an ideal scenario for GU. As usual, I'll take profits. Let's say it was up there. Could have a take profits at this 50% equilibrium area. 50% at that area. Okay. That's just an ideal scenario for GU. Same thing. Let's say GU is going for a short. Let's just give a scenario as that. So we don't want, same thing, we don't want price to clear this small little area, and then we try to search for a long. It would usually hit our stop loss because we are not looking to the right, to the left on what is happening down here. There is liquidity on this candle and imbalance right here, market imbalance. So let's mark it out. Liquidity right here, mark it out, sell side liquidity, and we have a market imbalance zone right here on the 15 minutes chart. So a nicer scenario for GU is the price to come lower, clear this entire area, and then we have our buy stop. You can just set a buy stop at this area, stop loss below. Same thing, take profits at the 50% area. Okay, so this is actually not a good trade, it's 0.73. Just remember to always look out for your risk to reward ratio. So let's say it's even lower right here. Let's just give a scenario as that. So your take profit could have been 1 to 2 or something. Just take notes. Always have a minimum of 1 to 1 risk to reward ratio. So it's just a rinse and repeat. So I have given you guys 2 types of scenario that might happen to GU. Let's move on Okay, I already said go. Let's maybe move on to Euro AUD. Euro Aussie dollar. So let's check what's happening on the daily. Price seems to have almost touched the daily high and daily low. Let's move on to the hourly. Price has, okay, did price clear? Oh yes, it did. Very, very minutely. This is on the hourly chart. Wow, I have to zoom in so much just to see this small little tiny whip. So let's move out of the chart. We could have earlier on set a sell stop at this area where the previous area that caused the breakout structure. The breakout structure right there. So we could have set a sell stop here, stop loss there, and the take profits area could possibly be to be safe, possibly be at this area right here. 1.46 risk to reward, but this happened. Okay, it happened on Sunday. That's weird. Okay, it's actually Monday. I just saw. Let me change the timing in case you guys get confused because it says Sunday right here. Okay, Monday. It happened earlier on at 9:30 a.m. Singapore time or 9:30 p.m. New York time. Moving on to EuroCAD. Let's take a look. Okay, daily high and daily low. Okay, there's not much movement going on. I'm just waiting for price to clear this area. So let's just move on to backtesting this pair. Let's move on to last Thursday on the 13th of October. Okay, there actually isn't much where price actually went down. Okay, so let's move on. Daily. Okay, maybe here. Where we could have potentially found a short. Okay, price did not go all the way. So what do we have? Daily high and daily low. And our price broke this area before it went back down, but I'm looking for price to clear this area. So if counting for spread, if you set it right here, it would not have hit. And it would have been a very, very bad trade also. Because your risk to reward, it will be possibly. Okay, it's not even there. Okay, this is an invalid trade. Okay, let's move to maybe Euro EG, Euro GBP. Let us look on the daily. Let us backtest how we could have possibly entered this short right here. So, daily low and daily high. Okay, nice. We have a nice scenario. So just now I was saying what I like to see is price come down, go down, and breakout structure before we go for a long. But in this scenario, we can look for a continuation. So it goes down, and the third one, we can start to find a retracement sell entry like this one. So you see, goes, same thing, 3 times. So where could we have entered? Looking down, looking at this area, price actually reflected off the daily low. So reflected once, twice, broke. Next, we enter on the market's imbalance area right here. Great. Without, okay, it's a bit too long. With our stop loss, entry here, stop loss at the very, very top. The last area that caused the break of structure. So with that in place, wow, okay, this is a nice trade. But then let's find another trade so that we can back test on. Go to the daily. Why am I so far back? So let's see how can we catch this trade. A possible trade like this. From here, short downwards. Let's take a look. The 15 minutes. Okay. Price went down, went up, cleared the area where the zigzag. You can set your, okay, actually, if you guys actually take your zigzag as smaller, in a smaller scenario, something like this. So it's zigzag, zigzag, zigzag. If you guys take this area as a zigzag, you can actually set a sell stop right here with your stop loss above. And you would have hit your 50% area. See? It hit very nicely before it reflected right off. The 50% area is pretty important because it's the equilibrium area. Okay, let's move on to another area. Okay, do you guys want me to teach you smart money concepts? Do let me know. My main trading style is, let me type out in the chat, smart money concepts or whack off. Do let me know which method you guys want me to trade. Smart money concepts or whack off. Do let me know in the chat which one you guys would want me to use. Okay. Okay. I'll teach you guys smart money concepts. Thank you for letting me know in the chat in Zoom. Okay, I appreciate it. Smart money concepts. Okay, if you want a very, very technical way of entering a trade, this is what I would do. So let's look back. I'll change the timing back to New York. UTC -4. So same thing. I mark out the Asia session until 12 o'clock. Okay, midnight. Let's take a look. Let's clean the whole charts first. Okay, so from 7 p.m. to 12 o'clock. So we have the, let me mark out this area. Okay, this time frame is on the 15 minutes M15 time frame. So what am I marking out? The Asia range. This is on the M15 chart. I'll mark it out as the Asian range. Top center. So I'm actually looking for a trade, how I would personally trade. This is very, very technical. Okay, I wouldn't say that technical, but this is how I would trade. So Asian range, hey, no problem, Jill, no problem. Hey, thank you very much for tuning in. I appreciate it. Oh yeah, and if you do have any charts that you would like me to take a look at, hey, do let me, just send it to me. Just copy link to a chart image and send it over to chat. We can view your charts live. So you can copy link to the chart image and send it right over. You can send it to me, then after we can, discuss it live. There's no rights or wrong. All's good. So I can know what you are currently looking at and I can give my insights. So for the Asian range, what I'll be looking at, and the daily, so I marked it out previously, was here. So I like to mark out the daily high and the daily low. This is the previous daily high and daily low. We are actually now back testing on the 14th of October, Friday, last Friday, where we could have entered a trade. So you can see price actually cleared the daily high nicely. So how do I mark out this area? I'll mark out this area as previous daily high. And this area is the previous daily low. Bottom right. So you can see during the Asian session, price actually went up and cleared the previous daily high. So what we are waiting for is price to either, price could have possibly went higher, cleared the Asian high, or as you can see right here, price cleared the Asian low. So actually last Friday, there wasn't much good trades that's actually going on. So I'll mark out this area as price cleared the Asian low right here. Asian low. So I only trade London and New York. So Asian low, mark out this area. What I'll do is I'll wait for price to come down, go back up. What I want to see is an order flow, a nice order flow where price respects some kind of area and it continues going down. So we actually do have it right here. Very, very small, smart money concepts. Look at this area. Price went down, cleared the Asian low before it went back up to clear the market imbalance zone right here. So to make it cleaner for you to see it properly, it's right here. Set it as a red box and price respected this area and it continued going down. So where could I have entered after price broke this low? So I'll be looking for retracement, right? I wouldn't be looking for some kind of sell stop. So let's say you set a sell stop, your risk to reward, you would have a probably risk to reward to the next market imbalance right here. See price tap nicely into that. Price tapped nicely into that. But we can actually refine it instead of setting a sell stop. So how do we do that? How do we do that? Same thing, if you guys need a refresher, this is the M15 market imbalance zone. Price previously did not come here to touch and it tapped in nicely before it bounced. So let's move on to the 5 minutes. Let's get it smaller and smaller. So what do we have here? What do we have here? Instead of a sell stop here, we could, okay, there isn't much. We could have continued, so price G went up and it cleared the market imbalance on the 5 minutes. Wait, where could we have increased our risk to reward? So right now we actually have since we actually did a sell stop, we are at a 2.22 risk to reward ratio. So how could we have further improved it? Maybe let's go down to the 4 minutes or maybe 1 minute chart to further improve it. So if you can see carefully, take a look very carefully. This entire block is the 5 minutes one. Just now I actually drew it on 5 minutes already. So we can see right here, very, very minutely, there is a market imbalance right there. So you can see price came up to clear it nicely. So if you actually marked out top-down analysis all the way down to the 1 minute, you can see you could have increased your risk to reward. So right now it's a 2.22, you can see right here. But if I push it up, my risk to reward became 3.38 risk to reward ratio. It actually increased. So what I like it when it happens, taps and immediately goes down. It would have been a very, very nice trade. But you know, there are some people who actually like to do 30 seconds. So I did see people previously request 30 seconds. So let's go to 30 seconds chart. Maybe we can refine it down even further. A mad refination. Okay, so it's the same. So it didn't make a difference. So let's look back at the 5 minutes chart. This is back on the 5 minutes chart after the refined entry. Look, it's a very nice 3.38 risk to reward ratio. But again, you'll be wondering why? Why did price come down and then went back up? By then, well, I would have shaky hands, so I would have closed my trade already. But why? There must always be an explanation on why price bounced instead of reaching the take profit area, right? Well, look to your left. There is a market's imbalance right here too. Box green. There is a 5 minutes area. Market's imbalance zone. So what you could have done is possibly take partials right here. Partial out your trade when price reach this area. And before you set your trade to break even. So let's say you already took partial at a 50% area. So what I like to do is, normally, if I have a first area to partial, so I'm using a gun box. Look at this. Very, very cleaned. So I will have partialed my trade right here at the 50% mark and leave the rest to run, hopefully to hit take profit. But I will have set break even by then in case price reversed all the way up. So with the partial in place, took partials, my trade hit break even before it hit take profit. So in this case, I would have probably, let's say I close 80% and the rest hit break even. So instead, it would have been a 1 to 1.23, but taking the 80% into account, 80% of 2.23 is 1.6 or 1.7 around there. 1.7 risk to reward even after taking partials and breaking even. So always know how to manage your trade psychology by taking partials when you are trading. Okay, do you want to screenshot this down before I continue? Hey Jill, thank you very much for joining. Do you understand so far what I've been teaching? If you have any questions, do let me know, Jill. Do let me know so I can further explain. if there are any questions. So this trade actually hit break even. If I would have entered. Screenshot this before I continue. Okay, moving on to the current day's chart. So today is actually a very, very bad day. Charts is trading sideways. So same thing, I mark out the Asian range. So from 7 p.m. New York time to 12 a.m. New York time. So you can actually see price cleared the Asian low. Asian low right here. And it also cleared the Asian high. Let me change it. Top Asian high. So right now at this area, price, this is actually not a clean movement. I'll see it as ranging, cleared the high, cleared the low, and it continued in this area. So for today, I will not be touching EU at all. Nothing much for EU unless price clears above, possibly this high right here, or all these lows right here where we could possibly, just maybe, look for a long when price comes down along here, or a short scalp for price to come down. So always look out for the high hanging fruits or the low hanging fruits area. So I always wait for best possible setups. I always like to wait for the high and low of any area to be cleared, especially this area. So to mark it out cleaner today, I'll mark it out my today's previous daily high and daily low. So the previous daily high was right here. And the previous daily low was right here. Okay, I think I drew it a bit too long. Okay, what I preferably want is for price to clear out this. Wait, let me copy this thing. Okay, I think you already know this marked out area is the Asia range. So what we can possibly look for is for price to tap into these points of interest on the M15. So I'll mark it out. EOI on the M15 chart inside. Right. So what we can look out for is price to possibly come back down before we search for a long to the upside. So this area is a better area for a long. And what do we have here? A better area for shorts would be for price to go all the way up before it's using an RSI oversold, where we can look for shorts downwards. But where? We are looking to the left on the daily. Let us move to the daily. Where could price possibly go on the daily chart? You can see right here on the daily chart, we have a market imbalance zone right here. Box rate, same thing, market imbalance, this area where price previously did not went to. So we can look for price to potentially, just maybe, to head up, tap into that area, go down, break of structure, and we get our short right there. These are the two scenarios that I'm actually looking for EU right now. So do screenshot this before we continue. Do screenshot this, take it down before we continue. These are two possible scenarios. Let me write it out before we continue. Okay, what currencies are you looking at right now, Jill? Do you let me know? So maybe I can take a look at it too together with you. Daily markets imbalance. Insights, right. Okay, do screenshot this down before we continue. Okay, Abawa Nyamiki. Okay, I do hope I pronounced your name correctly. I'll take a look at Go. But before we continue on Go, do screenshot this down. This is for EU on the M15 chart. Okay, once you guys have screenshot it down, let me move it on to Go. Okay. Let me mark out the daily high and the daily low again. So we have first I like to mark out the market imbalance right here. Price haven't touched that area. So let me draw it. Mark it out as daily market imbalance. Okay, daily markets imbalance. And we have a story. What is going on with gold? Gold has cleared the sell side liquidity. You can take a look. Gold cleared before it bounced. So this is just a quick analysis on the daily on what might possibly happen. So we look at the 4-hour charts. Nothing much has happened yet. But we are looking at these 4 hours points of interest where price might possibly hit to. So we can set this area as this is a 4 hours point of interest, POI, 4 hours inside, right, where price might possibly hit to this area, or it can hit to the daily markets imbalance. But before we continue, we haven't marked out the previous daily high and the previous daily low. So previous daily high, and then mark out the previous daily low. I'm doing a fast one. Daily low. Bottom right. So actually adding all this up, it reads confluence to where price might hit to after it clears the daily low, where we can search for possible long. A possible long scenario might be this: for price to clear the daily low, or for gold, where I will start selling, is right here. Looking for price to hit up, clear the daily high. Maybe, just maybe, we have some sort of reaction and price continues to go up. Daily markets imbalance, breakout structure, and then we search for sell downwards. What do I mean by breakout structure? Look at this. A lower low is formed, or for the bottom, a higher high is formed. So these are the two scenarios I'm actually looking at for gold. I will only sell gold if it hits this area, or buy gold if it hits this area. So I do not trade within the previous daily candle, because price can fluctuate. Okay, so what do you think of this analysis, Abawa Nyamiki? I do hope I pronounced your name right. Please screenshot this down. There might be quite a lot of waiting. Hopefully these scenarios plays out during the New York session. What do you think about this analysis, Abawa? This is gold on the 1-hour chart. Good, thanks. No problem. It's just a scenario that I'm looking at. Why? Also, to add on to why I'm looking for price to clear this daily markets imbalance, take a look using smart money concepts. there's this area. What do we call this area? So much area right here. This is liquidity. So I'll mark it out from the top all the way. Mark it out as buy side liquidity. Okay, so what is buy side liquidity? Buy side liquidity is where people are looking to short. So same thing, adding confluence. What you want is confluence that tries to clear the final area with the market imbalance together with the buy side liquidity for a nice short. So let us take a look. We're using a Fibonacci. Look at this, from the top to the bottom. Look at this. It's nicely resting on the 50% area. We have even more confluence that this area have a reaction 50%, daily market imbalance with buy side liquidity and previous daily high. So this area is a high probability short. So what about this area? Let us take a look. Price goes up. And let me draw off fibs. Can see there is a 78.6% Fibonacci line right there. So I'm using Fibonacci to add confluence to the 4 hours area and also the previous low and the previous daily low. That's the reason why I'm looking for a long at this area or a short from this area. So what we want is multiple confluences, especially with the use of a Fibonacci. So with these multiple confluences in mind, this is why I am looking for shorts on gold. Please screenshot this down before we continue. Please screenshot this down. This is the idea for a gold long and a gold short. Do you have any further questions regarding this? Do let me know in chat before I end my session on Vantage Markets. Do let me know. Please screenshot this down and hopefully this might give you an idea on a buy and sell signal. Okay, I wouldn't say a buy or sell signal, a possible buy or sell trade idea. Okay, do you have any further questions? If there are no further questions, I would like to thank you guys for joining me today on Vantage Markets for the live analysis session. My name is Chen Yongjin, and I would like to thank you for joining me today. And have a good day. Screenshot this down. And hopefully you guys learned something from me today during this 1 hour session. Okay, thank you for joining. Goodbye guys. Bye. Hey, no problem. Hey, thank you for joining me, Hounds Abdias. Thank you for joining me. No problem, Jen Pedersen. Thank you very much for joining. I do hope that you learned a lot from me. Hopefully I transferred some knowledge to you guys. Hey, thank you. Goodbye guys.